Hi there, this is Shrikant Sari. So in this lesson, we are going to learn about the Boolean data type. Okay, so this series is dedicated entirely on learning Java by example. Okay, that's the reason I'm not typing the program. So program has already been typed and tested, executed, and then I'm going to teach you how the flow of the code, how the flow of the execution is going to be happen. Okay, so here we have a small program which tells the importance of boolean keyword or boolean data type. Okay, so Java has primarily 8 primitive data types. In that, boolean is one of the primitive data type. Okay, so here we have developed a small program. Within that class program, we have just declared a boolean value which is true. Okay, so if it is the value is true, then only the if condition gets executed. Okay, so if it is false, it never gets executed, which means that in order to execute whatever the logic we have inside the if condition, inside the parenthesis, it must be evaluated to true. Okay, so in older languages like C or C++, you might have observed this notation. Okay, so there 0 is false, and 0 is false, and 1 is true. 1 is true in the case of older languages like C or C++, but in Java that is not the case. Okay, but in Java that is not the case here. Okay, so we need to be very careful while declaring or while dealing with boolean expressions or boolean values. So automatically it also gives a compile time error also. Okay, so if you say something like this in Java, so if you say, so boolean, let us take some another value here, value 2 or something like this. Okay, so let us take some another value, and if you say something like this, if you are coming from C or C++ background, this is the compile time error. Okay, so when it comes to Java, so if you execute this program, so obviously this turns out to be an error here. Okay, so this might work in case of C or C++. Okay, so there directly you can substitute 0 here, which is considered as false, and 1 can be considered as true. Okay, so but that is not the case in Java, because in Java every value which is an integer, every digit or every integer value is considered as int only. Okay, and also Java is very strict about type checking. Okay, so on the left hand side you have something called boolean, and on the right hand side, if you are supplying that with an integer value, and it's not going to accept here. Okay, at any cost. So this is invalid in Java, so let us remove that statement here. Okay, so the only thing you can do, you can have or you can provide boolean variable like value are only two values here. One is true or false. Okay, so here in this the first, we have initialized the boolean variable, the value true. Okay, so that's the reason you get the output as for the first statement you get the output as a. Okay, control F5. So if I execute the program, for the first instance we got the output as a, and for the second instance it's also got executed, because here we are using the boolean not operator. Okay, so not operator, we are using the boolean not operator, which means that if the value of the value which we have got in the variable is false, and we are complementing that. Okay, so we are inversing that to true, and finally this becomes true. Okay, so if you leave it that case, if you doesn't use that boolean complement operator, and if you execute that code, it's only one thing as the output. Okay, so obviously this condition will not get executed here. Okay, so because it becomes false, and if you have an else condition here, so directly the control jumps to that. And let's have another system.out.println here. Okay, system.out.println. So I'm coming from, okay, let's have a small message here. Got it wrong, or some message, whatever the message you can have here. Okay, so got it wrong, so that's the reason it's jumped to the else condition here. Okay, so just press F5. Okay, let's press control F5 here. Okay, so got it wrong. Okay, so the condition is false, that's the reason it jumped, the control has jumped directly to the else condition here. Okay, so if you use the Boolean complement operator here, so nothing happens. If again it gets evaluated from false to true, not false means true. So in that case, the if condition gets executed here. In that case, you will get the output as P. Okay, so this is the very basic introduction about the Boolean data type. Okay, so it can take only two values which is either true or false. Okay, the one thing we have to remember very carefully is if you are coming from C or C++ background, there 0 1 notation is there, because 0 is considered as false and 1 is considered as true, and that is not the case in Java. And also the default value for Boolean is false. Okay, so what happens if you just declare a variable and give nothing value here? Okay, so the default it takes as false, and now if we execute the program, it's not initialized. Okay, so local variables must be initialized. Okay, so that is not the case here. Okay, let us initialize here, because since it is taken as a local variable, one thing you have to remember is so default value for the Boolean is false. You can take that note very carefully. Okay, just a second. Okay, so the default value for Boolean is false. Okay, so let us test that condition also. So let us take another class level variable. Okay, so instance variable. Let us say something like this: Boolean. Let us say some Boolean bool or something like this. Let us leave it as uninitialized here. Okay, so nothing happens because local variables must be initialized, and that is not the case with the instance variables. So if you execute the program, nothing happens here, and we get successfully executed. And here we have an instance variable. So let me take another condition here. Okay, before that, let me instantiate the class here. Let me create an object here. Okay, so program P is equal to new program. Okay, so I've just taken instantiated the class, created the object here, and let us put another if condition here. Okay, so let me say that if P dot bool. Okay, so IntelliSense automatically, so if P dot bool, so I'm keeping nothing here. Okay, and let me take another else condition here. Okay, so we have learned that so the default value for a Boolean type is false. Okay, so which means that the default value in this variable is false. So if I write some logic here within the if condition here, system.out.println, which is not going to be executed here. Okay, so let me say something like this. Let me write hello. Okay, and we close it, and let me come back to the else condition here, and let me write something here: system.out.println. Okay, so let me write hi. Okay, close it. Okay, and now excuse me, so if you execute the program, so obviously as we said that the default value for the Boolean type is false, and automatically the if condition never gets executed because it is evaluated to false, and else gets executed, and we get the output as high. Okay, so let us check that. Okay, so here you got as said that you got the output as high. Okay, so that is all about the very basic introduction of the Boolean type. So Boolean data type is declared using the keyword Boolean. Okay, and then the default value is false, and also you can only have the two values which can be initialized into it, which is one is either true or false. Okay, so see you in the next lesson. Goodbye.